All right, moving on. This guy's
Whoa.
played Angry Birds 2.
I did. I know you're all dying to hear about it.
I mean,
Spill.
I have enjoyed playing Angry Birds games in the past.
That's not irony. It's the butt of a lot of jokes. But I do think a lot of people, that core sort of flinging it feels really good. And I've also really respected the Angry Birds franchise for being more of like a puzzle game than I think people give it credit for. Like if you really try to get 3 stars, you need to do some specific stuff in the levels and figure out what that is.
I thought Angry Birds Star Wars was very, very good.
Star Wars was maybe the peak. I really liked I liked everything about that game. Yeah, so Angry Birds 2, it's coming out. By the time you watch this, it will already be out and live. Let's start with some of the bad, some of the not so good.
All right.
It's a free game, it's a free download, and it's moving to a live-based system like probably most commonly found in Candy Crush Saga. So
Live-based system?
yeah, so if you fail a level, if you fail a level, you lose a life, and then
Okay,
you get that
gotcha.
life back in 30 minutes, and you have 5 lives total. So if you fail a level 5 times, you gotta wait 2.5 hours to play more, or you can spend, $1, whatever it is, to refill your lives. So
Real quick, I thought it was 10. Was it 5?
I mean, I don't have the game yet. Like I just played it some. There's some. I think it's 5.
Okay.
But either way, like again, part of the game was you could fling and exactly figure out how to master a level, and they kind of took that away from you unless you want to spend money. So that doesn't necessarily feel so great. You also have like power-ups that are basically kind of auto-win buttons, but you can buy those with the premium gems as well. If you're ever stuck, you can rain birds down from the sky.
I want that power in real life.
Yeah, no kidding. Undoubtedly disappointing. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It doesn't feel good to not be able to play the game whenever you want.
All right, then.
But the good.
Yeah.
Like now we can get on to some of the good. The game is legitimately really good looking. It's running at 60 frames per second. So, I mean, it sounds silly, but seeing the destruction, like it's very, very fluid and impressive watching, the TNT explode and all the physics happen in real time. The irony is this game's being made by Rovio's Swedish studio, who a lot of them, there's not a lot of game development in Sweden, so there are a lot of DICE EA, former DICE EA employees. So they worked on like Battlefield 3. And so they went from, Levolutions in that game to like Angry Birds Levolutions now, which I think is kind of funny. No, the good is if the old games were more puzzle-based, where it was really sort of precise, or you had to like whip it around a planet in a specific way to get 3 stars in Angry Birds Space, now it's a little bit more arcadey. So you have like a book of birds, or like a deck of cards that are your birds, and you get dealt a different set every time. So you don't know what 3 or 4 birds you're going to have. And then each level is multiple parts now. So if you're in 1-1, it'll be like destroy this stage, and then a second stage, and then a third stage. And so you kind of have to ration your birds a little bit. Like you might have a powerful bomb bird, but if you burn them on the first stage, then you might get to the third one, and then suddenly you're left with your weak birds. So there is a balancing act between sort of, okay, I have these 8 birds total, I have to get through 5 stages. Do I use my sort of weak, boring red bird now to try to get through the stage and save my stronger ones for later? That element of it felt really good, but the randomness of it means that sometimes it might be out of your hands if you don't do a great job. You might just need to restart and hope to get a better starting set of birds.
And when you restart like that, you are costing yourself
and then you cost yourself a life. I don't necessarily like people are going to bellyache about the lives thing, and that's a totally legitimate complaint. But for me, Angry Birds is like a snack anyway.
Yes.
So, that's never bothered me that much in mobile games, like energy systems that refill over time or any of that. Like, I'm playing a game for 20 minutes at a stretch and putting it down anyway.
See, this is a bigger problem for me because I dive into Angry Birds and just like play.
I played Angry Birds Star Wars for just hours and hours on end.
It's got an endless mode, so it's got an arena where every day it's a new daily challenge where it's never-ending sort of semi-procedurally generated stages where you have your finite number of birds and then you make it through as many of those stages as you can, and then you're competing against your friends for high scores. It's a new set of stages every day. So that's kind of rad.
All right.
My problem with the time-based life system is that it should just be an option. There should also be an option for me to pay $10 and just have everything, just have the game. Like, the fact that I can't just buy that's what bugs me.
I would pay $20 for Angry Birds.
I mean, if it was good,
but I'm not going to load a game that I know is going to sit there and just beg me to send it money.
Because then it's like an arcade machine in your phone or device or whatever.
And if I have an
is that
arcade,
people really like arcade machines.
yes, but you can set them to free play in your own house after you buy them.
If I buy an arcade cabinet, I don't have to keep putting money into it.
We played Rampage this weekend.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we put $1 into it and played for, whatever, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Had fun.
Yeah.
Ate some people.
You do meet a lot of people in Rampage. Yeah.
I was so confused because I was
Did you use the good old trick of like climbing right to the top of the building and then just holding like diagonally down and just
So
punch.
Yeah. So as you climb up, you punch the building that's behind you.
Right.
Punch up, and then when you're up to the top, punch.
You know how to do it. I love the jerk move you can pull in Rampage where you see one of your friends dying and you can just hover over them and grab them and eat them right before they regenerate. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
It accomplishes nothing at all mechanically, but it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
So I do, to sum it up, I think mechanically, I think the actual, when you're in the level fleeing the birds, I think it feels better. It looks really good. It feels really good, very polished. How much that metagame element of lives recharging does sort of mess with the look and feel, we need to spend more time with it to determine some of that.
Cool.
All right.